What is up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Sunday fun day. I'm going fishing. I haven't fished since, hold on, I hit the wrong button here. What was I using? I haven't fished since last Monday. Today is Sunday. I have been swamped at work. I'm at the point in this job that I'm doing that it's all finish work now. You know, Courtney's been working with me, which has been such a blessing. I love to have her with me for many reasons, not just for how helpful she is, but it makes my day a whole lot nicer than being alone all day. But we've got so much to do. We're trying to get this place buttoned up for the homeowner who's anxious to get back in. It's coming out beautifully. I'm so happy with it, but it has taken a lot of my time, and it probably will. My guess is this summer I'm going to have to alter my schedule a little bit. Probably do more afternoon, evening fishing, late afternoon. Because once I finish this job, I've got another job to roll right into, and it's going to be a big one as well. So we'll see. All that's irrelevant. I'm going fishing now. I'm going fishing. I have been jonesing all week, and the couple times that I thought I could sneak out in the afternoon when I got done with work, I just wasn't able to. Hey, sometimes real life gets in the way of our fishing life. So all right, I'm going out this morning. We got storms around, not storms, but rain. There's no lightning strikes detected anywhere around, which is why I'm heading out. What am I going to do today? I've got it in my head that I want to go throw hammer harnesses in the weeds. So I'm going to go find some weeds and start working down the weed edge and see what happens. I got a couple rods already rigged up, and I got some actual live crawlers today. We'll see. I'll switch back and forth between live and rubber, depending on how the fishing goes, and we'll see what happens. But I'm excited. Stay tuned. I'll bring you along with me, and let's have a nice day. Thanks. All right, let's do this. So, I'm going to grab a rod. I am throwing this today. I'm going to throw this today on the, man, it's going to be rain on and off. And I got my phone out here, so we'll see. I'm going to throw this on my JT rods. It's a JTX 7'1" mag medium light. It's got a nice soft tip and bend to it, because throwing these harnesses, especially with a live crawler on it, you've got to be careful not to do the whip. It's not a lure, and you will send your worm, and it will separate. And so I find that I tend to lob more. I want something that's a little softer and a little more give. On the take, it doesn't matter. These fish, when they come up to eat a hammer harness, they're not pussyfooting around. They're, and it's a lot of times the awesome part. This is going to be a lot of fun this morning. I hope I get the footage I want. With this rain, I'm going to make this quick. I'll come back when I'm rigged. All right, so this is how this rig looks. I just attached it. I didn't change my existing setup. I have this set up as a snap jigging rod. So I've got a micro swivel in line, micro barrel with a paper clip. So I'm just attaching the casting spinner or the casting weight that comes with the hammer harness. And Brian puts another, they come with another barrel swivel right here. I will tell you that you can't overdo line twist mitigation with these things, because when they're flying through the air and that big blade is spinning, there's a lot of twist that generates. So they're having multiple points of a barrel swivel to absorb and keep that unwound, I think is okay. It might be a little clunky. I could streamline it if I was going to make this a dedicated hammer harness thrower, rod thrower, you know. What color did I go with? I don't know how the camera's going to pick this color up. It's orange right there. It is, it's a crushed ice over a hammered blade. I always start with orange. It's my favorite color on Oneida. And blades, it's my favorite one that Brian makes at BHAMMER Tackle. Excuse me. Got a hitch in my giddy up. So that's what I look like rigged, and I thread the worm as close to the eye as I can down through the collar, and then I do overlap it once. I just made, I don't know, 15 casts with it. It stays weedless. I'm right on the outer fringe of a weed line, checking that outer edge. I could be in farther, and maybe the next pass I will be. But I want, I'm just looking, and no weeds, and I still have my original crawler. So what I was saying is about the lob cast is I'm really just lobbing it like that. You're not. It doesn't have to be. Brian will tell you. You can watch the video last year when we fished together. Brian will tell you it's not about casting it a country mile. He actually likes it closer because he has more control as soon as it hits the water. There's not that period. If you really get a good cast or downwind someday, there's that period out there where it kind of feels like it's floating, so to speak, where you're not in really direct control of it until it gets a little closer, and then you feel it. Then you really feel it. You feel that blade turn. You feel, did it hit anything? Did it pick up anything? Because like I say, I'm in 15 foot of water. I'm in the scattered weeds that are on the outside that are still growing, because this weed bed's not stopping here. It's just early in the year. It's already at 15. So I don't know how far that cast is. 60 feet maybe. 60 feet I would think. And depending on how high up your weeds are, as that's how long you, from the time it hits the water, you can start reeling right away. Slow. You can count it down till it's just ticking the top of the weeds. I fish it with a braid. I fish everything with a braid. I'd rather know sooner than later. I always slow down when I get right next to the boat, when I see that blade start to come, because you see, it's amazing with this. It's very exciting. You see, yeah, right. You see a lot of bites right here at the side of the boat because they're following it. Now I let it sink a little farther this time. I let it sink down to a 7 count. I've got the 3/8 ounce weight on there. You can get quarter or a half. Honestly, if I could have found my quarter, I would have put that on. I like it lighter in here, a little more slithery. Not a huge difference. Goes through the water nice. And this is a great system. You can do it at any depth. And if you got fish on the bottom, you just let it sink to the bottom and then get it up off there a little bit so it comes up, and then just slow reel it, You could do it in the weeds where it's kind of designed for. It's amazingly weedless, really. That big willow leaf blade keeps most everything away. Now, if you if your sinker or whatever, if you come through a big clump of something on your line, and then it's not weedless. But just coming through those standing weeds, and you'll feel it ticking it off there. You know, you're seeing me. I'm just recasting. I don't have to. That worm has been incredibly durable, although I haven't had a bite yet. Shockingly. Maybe I'll slow it down here a little. When in doubt, slow it down, I guess. It's been a stormy last 24 to 48 hours. Cold front's coming. It's only supposed to be high in the 50s tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday. And rain. I just had to pull that up off the sinker. I just had my trolling motor down. And I've got I'm going with the wind still, but I'm just going along the edge of this weed line. Till I get bit, you know, and then if you go and get bit the very next cast, well, then you spot lock, and you can keep throwing this, or you can start picking it apart with a jig. Like I say, it's a great search tool for covering water, but it's also a spot killer. You know, I mean, you can stop and keep throwing that, and they'll keep eating it. It's not really a reaction bite. They see it, and it's steady. You know, you can start it, you can stop it, you can twitch the rod a little and pulse that blade. You can do anything you want. Typically, I just am slow and steady, kind of with my swim baits too. I've never found that anything other than that produces as consistently and universally as that. So, all right, I'll come back when I catch one. All right. Well, I just had my first bite finally. It's been, I don't know, 25 minutes at least. I threw the orange. Through water, I assume there's fish in, not just walleye, but, you know, anything will eat these. Largemouth, smallmouth, pickerel, sunfish, perch, you name it. I switched over to the chartreuse, which is like 1A. If orange is 1, then chartreuse is 1A. And there's a whole crew of people that'll tell you that's the reverse for them. It's just preference. Chartreuse is a good color. It's a little overcast. The water doesn't look stained, but it does look like there's an algae bloom going. I haven't seen any mayfly carcasses yet, but I'm in shallow, so we'll see. All right, stay tuned. All right, well, I still have not connected with a walleye, but I just had my third pickerel, second on this beauty right here with the impulse jigging leech on it, lathered up in Plotsky walleye fire gel. I put this stuff on everything. I put it on blade baits, on shiver minnows, on worm harnesses when I don't have a worm on there. That fish missed it. I killed it. I started moving it again, and it ate it again. I went a long way with a live worm and didn't do squat. Maybe there was just nothing there. Who knows? So I've changed locations. I'm in a different weed bed. That was my first cast in this new spot. So we'll see. I had them here throwing jerk baits 2 weeks ago walleyes, that is, throwing jerk baits with Eric Wisniewski, and now this area is starting to get some weeds in it, so I figured, well, I'm going to come through the same area. I don't think those fish left. I think this is where they live. So I figured I'd go through that same area and run through it with a spinner, with a hammer harness, and see what's going on in these weeds. Like I say, I think they live in the same spot year round. I just happened to catch them here on one thing early in the season before the weeds came up. So, all right, stay tuned. I just told you to stay tuned. I took 3 more cranks on the rod, and this little largie just woofed it. You run this thing through the weeds. I mean, it would be no different than throwing a spinnerbait in here or a chatterbait, and listen, ask the bass guys, especially those guys that throw spinnerbaits and chatterbait a lot in these weed beds and have for the last, forever, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Ask them how many walleyes they've caught over the years in the weeds on those bass baits. How dare a walleye eat a spinnerbait? That's largemouth only. Nuh-uh. It's something flashy, and that's something about that blade. This is the same kind of blade. It's that same big willow leaf, not quite as big as a number 1 spinnerbait blade, but still. Big flash, big vibration. Why wouldn't they like it? Why wouldn't they like it? The species parade continues. The walleye continues to elude me. But look at that face. Look at that face. My grandpa and my Uncle Phil used to call them dukes. I don't really know why. I was not one to argue, though. And I'm never... So that's 3 species: pickerel, largemouth, rock bass. So far, the elusive Oneida Lake walleye has eluded me. Not for long. I've got a very upset giant smallmouth bass on it. He's a dandy. Let's see if I can't get my phone around any farther. Look at that tank. There you can't see it. My hand on the way. He's a dandy. Spawned out. Big spawned out female. Probably got a little too close to the nest with that one. There must be some gravel down in these pockets of weeds. All right, so that's 4 species. Still no walleye, but we're catching fish. Who doesn't like that? Hammer harness, baby. It's hammer time. I have tried the gulp before. Sometimes they're worse than a real crawler. They're so soft. And I have changed, on a couple of Brian's rigs, I've changed the hook out and put an offset finesse hook on there, a finesse worm hook. I've Texas rigged them, but again, the plastic on those gulps is so incredibly soft that for this situation, going through the weeds, it rips them right off. These jigging leeches you're just nose hooking them right through, just like that, and they don't come off. I've had them pulled off. I've had a fish, short hit it and pull it off, but they don't come off in the weeds when you get caught on them. Stay with me for this cast. You never know. If you're in a spot with them, you might go 2 in a row. Oh, I just got bit. So then I kind of kill it, and then I start that slow retrieve again. There was a stalk, and you'll feel it. You'll feel that weight and spinner hit the stalk and go whoom, and you'll feel it crawl up and over it. Now this stringy stuff I'm getting, that's just stuff floating on the surface and crap. Oh, he ripped it off. Could be a perch, could be something small. So that guy just ate, that's my second largemouth of the day. I switched back to the chartreuse. I took my marker and I gave it a little bit of perch stripe, and I went back to a real worm. That was my second cast with the real worm, and the wind has picked up dramatically, so we'll see. My drift is pretty fast, but he just ate it good, so we'll see. I got a little bit longer to fish. I got about another hour. Nice largie. That's the third largemouth of the day out here. A lot of things are living in these weed beds. I'm in 13 foot of water. I got weeds up at least 6 to 7 feet already. Some a little closer to the top here or there, maybe 10 foot. And you just reel these spinners through the weeds. And next thing you know, you feel donk, donk, donk. And they're right there. It's a lot of fun. This is the most fish I've ever caught on throwing the harnesses, and this is the longest I've ever done it. That's the only thing I've done today, and my mind is set a couple times, hey, let's do this, try this, do something else, move, And then I just said, well, I'm catching fish, I'm going to keep doing it, and it's been a great day. That's like, 9 or 10 fish so far this morning, and 5 species. That's pretty fun. And you can do this in any weed bed on this lake, because you may not catch them in every weed bed on this lake, but that doesn't mean they're not there. What is up, everybody? Clean off my lens a little bit. All right, that's going to do it for today. What a fun morning. I committed to just one rod, one lure. I changed color, but same lure. Paid off. I was looking for walleyes. I did catch one. But listen, one's better than zero, and I caught a ton of other stuff. I caught 5 pickerel, a couple of which were pretty good size. I caught 4 largemouth, 2 of which were 3 pounds, maybe a touch more. 1 big smallmouth, big spawned out female. She was probably 4 pounds. I'd have had a had a 14, 15 pound limit with 4 largies and 1 smallmouth today. And I missed, had on, didn't really crack good with the hook set. God, at least a half a dozen fish that I had on, come off. Don't know what they were, didn't see them. But it was a lot of fun. I'll thank my buddy Brian Hammond, BHAMMER Tackle, for putting out such an excellent product. I switched all day this morning back and forth between the orange prism and the chartreuse green one. It's more the green, not the chartreuse. Chartreuse is a little more highlighter color, and I didn't have one with me. Tomorrow's Monday morning, so I'll be hosting my buddy Paul. I think we're going to go do the same thing. I was in anywhere from 9 to 14 foot of water today, all over the top of weeds. Once I got off the weed beds, I didn't get bit. Surface temperature out there was 67, 68. That west wind is howling right now. I was on the west end, so waves weren't an issue, but that wind is blowing all of 20. Easy. So that's my day. I'm going to go spend the afternoon with my lovely wife, see if I can talk her into going to do something foolish. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Boy, it felt great to be back out. Felt great to set the hook. That JTX mag medium light rod, I'm finding I bought it over the winter for this specifically. I do some other stuff with it, but I specifically bought it because it's a little softer, more of a full bend. It's not the extra fast tip, so that tip loads a little more. It lob casts very nicely with that worm. I didn't throw any worms off today, which I normally do. It throws a beautiful lob cast. It's got all the backbone you can want for anything that we're going to catch out here, really anywhere around here. And super enjoyed it. Thank you. I'll put a link for BHAMMER Tackle for the hammer rig so you can experience hammer time for yourself. Thank you. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Keep your tip up.